Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce, Friday morning, coffee and conversation. Is that what we're calling it now?
Sure.
Excellent. I don't think we've talked yet this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, let me just get the biggest question I have off my mind right now. Are you staying for the whole networking?
If UPS does not come through that door, yes.
So Brian has been very generous. He always, pre-pandemic, would host us at least once a year here. But he's notorious for leaving early. Whether it has to go to the airport or, I mean, I think last time I had the keys and locked this place up, you were going to be knighted as a Royal Rosarian.
Yes.
I mean,
I had a good excuse anyway. And the other one was to pick up my wife, who's back there making her breakfast. So say hi to Kathy.
So we're really happy to be here again today for the first time in quite a long time, hear what you're up to. Before we do that, let me just lay out that once we hear from you, we'll go ahead and make introductions. For folks who maybe this is their first time or their second time being here, we'll hear from them, and then we'll have some announcements. Does that sound good?
Works for me.
All right, then I will hand it off to you for your light version of an introduction.
The ones that talk the most are always the one that tap their watch for other people. It's interesting, isn't it? I was at the awards dinner. So, I thank you all for coming, for starters. For those of you who have been here before, you probably noticed it feels a little tighter in this area. We've added a couple of walls, which means there's an area for my studio mate / painter, Graham Salisbury. He had a career as an author that turned into a career as a young reader, children's author. The guy's got 20 books on the shelf, all of them award-winning, Scott Odell Award included. And then he evolved into painting. And one of the things that I do with my photography is flat work, photographing other people's art to create lithos out of. And I was providing that service to him as well. And it just worked out great that I needed no windows, he needed more light. And so we did a little reversal. And I'm now in the corner, and he's got this wonderful space he said is fine for you to roam around. Feel free to check it out. But I want to back up and tell you about what has been going on in the last 2 years, which has been very exciting, never a dull moment. You probably heard there was this little thing called COVID that hit, and it changed, for me, it changed my configuration in that I needed the space between me and my clients. I put my all of the portraits, not just headshots, but I put high school seniors and families images online to order so that they're not in here as groups. I didn't have the space to do that when we had our 6-foot measure going on. And so it provided me this huge area, and I came here from Pendleton, Oregon 36 years ago with one mission, and that was to sell my scenic photographs. I was never going to put people in them. And something happened along the way in the 90s, and I got a few awards for people, and I thought, my mentor was right, I should probably do this. And it put me closer to my craft. It was just a matter of taking scenics and putting people in front of them. Because I was never going to do studio photography. Look at the name on the building, it's Studio B. And obviously that's not all I do, but I kind of need that studio in the name to say, yes, I do that also, because there's so many people that do it as a side hustle. They don't even have lighting. I only use natural light, meaning I like raccoon dark eyes. I don't care what color your eyes are, they're gonna be black. But my mentor told me, you've got a gift, do the two together. And so during COVID, I found myself with 6 weeks of not being able to really have people in here. And it gave me time to lean into the things that I really wanted to get done after I impressed my wife with my domestic skills and availability. Honey-do list come first, and I did a lot of checking off that box. And then built website for GrahamSalisbury.com, his SalisburyPainting.art, and saw him calling his work junkers, and I went, no, I can sell that. Let me put it out there and see what happens. So I created a new business. Because I'm here as a visitor from Double Infinity. I did hand my check, but I'm going to use that time right now and just tell you what I did. I don't have a marketable last name. So Brian Geraths Originals, good luck saying Geraths if you see how it's spelled, right? It looks like Geraths, Geraths, we hear it all. But I created a gallery, which was my intent to sell these, what you see in acrylic on the walls. These are all acrylic, dye bond back aluminum. They will outlast your kids. They are designed for longevity, so they're priced accordingly as well. But I wanted a gallery presentation, and so I found myself doing all this for Graham and going, oh my God, I'm living my dream through him instead of mine. So I just, as of today, am setting up my first showing at the Lakewood Theater. I'm in the open show for the Festival of Arts, and so because I like photo finishes, literally my last images, my all but one, were sitting on a dock in San Francisco at 5 o'clock last night, and they're supposed to walk through that door within the next 2 hours. So, welcome to my world. I may leave before you, but it's not because I like inviting people to a party and leaving. It just happens to work that way. I was here the whole time the last time I hosted. I made note of that. So, but anyway, I do appreciate you coming. If you have any questions, there will be prices on these eventually. My tags haven't come in yet, but number one specialty, headshots. I had the best year in 26 years. On my 25th anniversary last year was my record year since 1996, and same price list. People needed to get back to work. They were reconfiguring, entrepreneurs starting up side hustles, you name it. That camera room was busier than ever. I renewed my lease. I'll be here. And if anything, I'm hoping that vet leaves because I'd love to have the gallery go that way. So I love my neighbors. You didn't hear that, and I hope they don't see this. But stay. I love you guys. They're here when I'm not, so I always go get my UPS and trade for chocolate to their receptionist. So anyway, but welcome. Thank you for coming, and I look forward to hearing more about who everybody is. I see a lot of new faces.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you, Brian. Brian has shot me a couple times, and they have come out fantastic. So I'm sure that if you need headshots, anything like that, reach out to Brian. He's the guy. We've actually known each other for a minute now. Our businesses, your studio was across the street from my cafe. That's how we first got to know each other. Yep. And then we were in Leadership Lake Oswego together in 2013. 14, yep. Right, great. And Brian has been a member of the Chamber Board. He's done committee work. He's a guy to connect with if you're interested in Chamber committee service, if you're interested in knowing about the community. This guy is willing. He helps everyone out, and that's why his schedule is so busy. So be sure to connect with Brian whenever you need anything.
And I have to throw in a sidebar. Julia, I always called my work wife because she had the coffee and the snacks. I never worried about setting up, and I thought, oh, I got to go get coffee. Julia's not. So anyway, it's been great.
Thank you, thank you. Well, let's, now that we've met Brian and heard about his pivoting of his business and what he's up to, let's meet people who maybe this is your first time or your second time here. If you want to go ahead and advance forward here, we'd love to meet you and learn what your business is.